So there's that kind of part of Trustkill where it's like, first Walls Jericho LP and all those bands. But then it's like you take a next step, and you mentioned the distribution deal with Sony, and then the bands went from selling like, before it was like 500 records to like, I don't know, like 5,000 records to 50,000 or 100,000 records.
That was a big leap. Um, that was something I could have never imagined, right? Because I knew that like back then in the 90s, early 2000s, you know, the biggest I could ever imagine a band being was like Gorilla Biscuits or Minor Threat or Earth Crisis,
Right,
right?
right,
And those bands had only sold 10, 20, 30,000 records, right? So then all of a sudden I get this distribution deal with Sony, and they're like, yeah, here's a big checkbook that you can use to market your bands. And I was just kind of like, all right, so I saw it like some like Robin Hood shit where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna steal from you. It's like you're gonna give me all this money and you're gonna let me spend it on hardcore bands, then that's exactly what I'm gonna do. And I'm gonna spend as much money as I can and do all the shit that I've always wanted to do, which included like wild shit. Like, you know, I called up Alternative Press and I was like, hey, what would it cost if I put a CD sampler in every single magazine that goes direct mail to all your entire list? And they were like, well, that sounds crazy. And I'm like, I know, but I want to do it. So like I made that happen. And then I did it with Revolver magazine. And then Bleeding Through got an offer to buy on the Ozfest. And I was like, holy shit, like this could be huge, but it's a lot of money. So I went to Sony and I was like, listen, I just showed them all the numbers and I'm like, this is the band, this is the tour, this is the album. If we do this, we are going to sell a lot of records. And I was right. And that was This Is Love, This Is Murderous. We put them on Ozfest, and then we placed the record at retail, right, in the Best Buy end caps and at Hot Topic and Kmart and wherever else we could. And we ended up selling 150,000 copies of that record. Um, and then I did it again with Throwdown, and then I did it again with Walls of Jericho, and then I did it again with It Dies Today. All these bands were bought on the Ozfest, but really it was just I just considered it marketing money. Like this is at the time, this is the greatest way to market my bands